Tonight on Global Mirror, Pakistan was rocked by attacks on its military cantonment in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province on Tuesday night, killing at least 12 people and injuring 15 others. Twin explosions struck a military facility in the northwestern part of Pakistan after two suicide bombers detonated their explosives as they rammed their vehicle into the boundary wall of the sprawling military complex in the Bannu area, which primarily houses offices and residences of security forces. 5 to 6 attackers again tried to breach the boundary, but they were eliminated. Eyewitnesses said that plumes of grey smoke rose into the air and gunfire was heard following the blasts. Jaish al-Fursan, which is a group affiliated with the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, also known as Pakistani Taliban, has claimed responsibility for the attack, marking the third terror attack in Pakistan since Ramzan began. In fact, as per reports, the number of attacks by TTP has more than tripled between 2021 and 2024. Now, Islamabad has time and again blamed India and Afghanistan for such attacks. This time as well, they've said that there was physical involvement of Afghan nationals. However, the reality has been in stark contrast. The rise of Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan and its resurgence is largely due to Pakistan's own policies. From fostering terror proxies to failed negotiations, Pakistan's own failures have led to TTP becoming one of the biggest security threats for their own country. So what's the current situation? How are Afghan-Pakistan ties affected? And what's really the future of the region in face of these two unstable countries and former allies? Let's try and decode this for you on Global Mirror. I'm joined by General Sanjay Kulkarni, defense expert. Captain Alok Bansal, Director, India Foundation, also joins us. We're also expecting Omar Altaf, journalist from Pakistan, to join us in a short while from now. Good evening and namaskar to both of you gentlemen. General Kulkarni, let me begin with you. Can I first understand from you what's been happening in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the kind of dynamics that are playing out, a faction of the TTP claiming responsibility for the attack, Pakistan saying there was involvement of Afghan nationals. Help us understand this entire dynamic.
Thank you, Shreya. See, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa has been a very restive province. And all along of the total number of Pakhtuns as citizens, 50% of them are in Pakistan and 50% of them are in Afghanistan with Durand Line, which is not acceptable to the Afghans. So Taliban has Pakistan always thought that they would have strategic depth in Afghanistan ever since Taliban had taken the complete power in their own hand, resulting in Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which Pakistan has all along been saying that they've been propped up by Afghanistan, which Afghanistan has been saying definitely not. Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan is an organization which is being raised and in Pakistan, but it is not so happening, resulting in Pakistan using even air. They have not hesitated using aircrafts, drones, attack helicopters to strike what they call it as the terrorist hideout in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and the Paktika province of theirs, resulting in what deaths have taken place. 2024 has been the worst year for Pakistan, if one could say. They launched approximately about 59,000 intelligence-based operations, over 444 attacks, resulting in over 685 of their security personnel dead, over 1,600 of them other civilians and all others dead. This year alone, there have been 156 of the security personnel dead, over the same number of terrorists dead. So it's been a province which has been absolutely fighting. The Pakhtuns, leave aside that, reasons are multifarious. There were over 14.5 lakh refugees in Pakistan, recognized by the UNHCR. 8.5 lakh Pakistani threw those refugees out of Afghanistan to Afghanistan in the last about a year and a half, resulting in another problem over there. As a result of which, now you have Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, you have Balochistan. Two of these restive provinces attacking the security forces. Their own councillors and their own people, their diesel, what they call it, their Maulana, who in their own parliament has stated very clearly that these provinces very soon will secede from Pakistan because they have no way. The Pakistani security forces have lost control. There is no way. The police people themselves have also left. As a result of this almost Robin Hood kind of situation which is prevailing in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, wherein the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan is ruling the roost, supposedly supported by Taliban, they say, but of course, the Shreya, the best part is that both of them, the Taliban and the IS, don't see eye to eye. The IS don't even see eye to eye with Pakistan. In fact, if you look at it, there could well have been better coordination with Afghanistan. It isn't happening that way, resulting in Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan attacking the security forces of Pakistan, and there have been a huge number of deaths. 2024 been bad, and the beginning of this year itself, in the last 2 months, have been worse for Pakistan. Yeah.
Captain Alok Bansal, come in on this. You know, the fact that now even Pakistan's own security forces are unable to stand up to TTP and its small factions that have been attacking Pakistan's security forces. The fact of the matter is that Pakistan created this own Frankenstein's monster for its own vested interests, and now they've turned against them, especially after, Pakistan started attacking ex-FATA region and groups.
Firstly, we need to understand that this sort of radicalization which is happening in Pakistan and creation of organizations like TTP is a natural manifestation of the two-nation theory, the ideology on which Pakistan was created. Right from inception, religion has assumed a preeminence in the body politic of Pakistan. And subsequently, once the Pakistani state, especially the security establishment, started using radicalized outfits to pursue their foreign policy agenda and to pursue their security aims, such outfits have mushroomed. But they probably did not realize that once ideology takes roots and ideologically committed terrorists are grown and they are mushroomed in this way, they eventually will go with their ideology. And this has been the case, that the TTP has been closely aligned with Afghan Taliban. They ideologically are close to them. And Pakistan probably felt that by helping Afghan Taliban capture power in Kabul, they'll be able to control TTP. The reverse happened. The TTP, which had been lying low after Afghanistan fell to Taliban, found a safe haven and are now attacking Pakistan with impunity. What is different this time is that not only is TTP attacking Pakistan, and in fact, if you go back, you'll remember 2007, 2009, there was a serious situation that existed in Pakistan as far as terrorist attacks was concerned. It was brought down and situation was brought under control after the attack on APS Peshawar. But now, for last 5 years, it's again rising. And now we have a situation where terror attacks have been rising consistently. And this has got a serious fillip ever since Afghanistan has fell to Taliban. And what is very, very significant this time is that this time TTP is not averse to even aligning with those outfits which are not ideologically in agreement with them. Like Baloch nationalists are actually ideologically very different from TTP. But this time we have seen in Balochistan, there have been certain attacks where TTP and BLA have actually coordinated and cooperated. So this is a situation where TTP has realized that to attack their common enemy, namely the Pakistani state, they are willing to collaborate and cooperate with anyone. And I think Pakistani security forces are finding it very difficult to deal with this sort of menace because TTP has managed to radicalize a large number of youth and whose commitment levels are far higher than that of Pakistan Army or Pakistan's security forces.
Okay. General Kulkarni, there's also speculation that this is also a strategy to perhaps end the popularity of Imran Khan in the region, to resettle TTP there, to get its smaller factions to get active there in the region, so that his rising popularity, it's already, of course, curtailed by various means in Pakistan. But do you buy that argument that this could also be one of the cases?
Yeah, very difficult to say because Imran himself, of course, was called Taliban Khan, the way he had started off with. But all said and done, irrespective of the way Taliban, when it came back to power in 2021, Imran was all gaga over it that, well, they were the ones who were actually wanting Taliban to take power. It wasn't like that because slowly and steadily you found that the Haqqani network, you saw the DGISI, how he was sacked, how he was trying to boast that, well, everything they would eat as if from his own palm or something like that. It didn't really happen. Taliban has its own ideology. Pakhtuns have been saying time and again that, look, we are all Muslims. That's perfectly fine. But that does not mean our identity as Pashtuns can be done away with the Punjabis in Pakistan. And that is what something which hurts them the most. Durand Line is something which they do not accept. You've seen the kind of program at that area where the people have been going. The number of air attacks. Can you imagine air attacks on in Afghanistan hideouts in the Waziristan area? So this kind of things happening. Obviously, the Taliban are upset. Now, Taliban upset, Tehrik-e-Taliban upset with the security forces. You have the BLA upset, you have the BLF upset, the IS, which supposedly, with everybody, none of them like the IS, Khorasan group, but they all have united. All of them are cooperating with a view to fight the Pakistan security forces. What is the Pakistan Prime Minister saying? The Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan is our enemy number one. What enemy number one? They have created. Pakistan all along has been using terrorism as an instrument of state policy. It's a failed state, but still it does not, Pakistan military and the terrorists have become a kind of a huge organizational setup, cooperating, fighting with one another, resulting in absolute instability in this region. And Pakistan, Taliban, and Tehrik-e-Taliban, Pakistan, the Afghanistan Taliban, and look at the kind of weapons being used. M16s, M24, night vision devices, the laser weapons, all kinds of things being used. And Pakistan using fighter aircraft, they're using attack helicopters, they're using drones to knock them off. What is all this going on? So much so that they even attacked Iran. So that is the kind of thing which is happening in that region. I think that Pakistan's in a deep trouble, primarily created by their own. All the terrorists have been created by them. There's 6,500 Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan fighters. 6,500. There are over 14.5 lakh refugees in Pakistan. The 8.5 lakh thrown out by Pakistan back into Afghanistan. Problems of food, problems of energy, no place to live, health, everything. So there is a chaos which is going on in Pakistan, and Pakistan is in economic distress, total economic distress. As a result of which, I don't think Pakistan can face this kind of a situation until they cooperate and give up terrorism. Only way for Pakistan forward, I see, is give up terrorism once and for all. Otherwise, there's no way Pakistan will break into pieces. Yeah, sure.
Okay, that obviously, General Kulkarni, isn't happening anytime soon, because the very basis of the country's existence now is the fact that they're perpetrating terror on their soil. But Captain Alok Bansal, Pakistan has through the decades done a lot of things under American pressure. The attacks, the counter-terror attacks on by United States of America. With Donald Trump now coming in, do you think there's going to be a change there? Might be some sort of dynamic change that will play out in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa at all? Will he have that interest in the first place, Donald Trump?
Firstly, Donald Trump is a transactional man. If Pakistan delivers something to him, he'll be very happy. As you know, recently they handed over one terrorist, ISI apprehended, and the US administration thanked Pakistan, ISI for that. So that's the situation. So if it actually suits Donald Trump, he will be very happy. But he's not willing to commit either troops or funds to do something as far as Pakistan is concerned. Pakistan is low on his radar. It's not high on the radar. Pakistan cannot hope to get that sort of support which it was getting in the past, which it will not get. But at the same time, I don't think so at this point of time, unless, of course, America is directly affected, Trump is going to intervene or do something as far as Pakistan is concerned. Pakistan will continue to suffer. Pakistan's economic condition has improved considerably in last few months. Let me put it very clearly. The inflation, which at one stage was 38%, has come down to 1.52%. Even the foreign exchange reserves have been beefed up because of IMF loan. So it is not that bad a situation as it was a few months or a year and a half back when Pakistan was on the verge of default. So they are fairly okay as far as foreign exchange reserves are concerned, as far as inflation is concerned. Of course, there are macroeconomic issues which continue to be grim. But Pakistan has to look at nation building. That is far more important. They not only face threat from TTP, they have threat from ethnic groups, especially in Balochistan, and there is also a low-level insurgency in Sindh. So all these issues Pakistan will have to deal with. Besides this, of course, there is a sectarian conflict which is going on where different sects of Islam, basically Shia, Sunnis, are fighting with each other in certain places.
Okay. We've also got Faraz Saeed, the journalist from Pakistan, joining us on the broadcast. broadcast. Faraz, good evening, namaskar. First of all, I want to understand from you, Faraz, how Pakistan is viewing all of these attacks that are happening in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region. This clearly is being blamed on Afghanistan, but experts believe that it is your own creation. It is Pakistan's own Frankenstein's monster.
Thank you, Shreya, for having me on your show. First of all, I would like to make this absolutely clear that it is not Pakistan's Frankenstein's monster. It has been the monster that was created during Afghan Jihad, during Russian invasion of Afghanistan, in cahoots with the US and its allied forces back in 90s. And then they left, and we were left, the Taliban, the monster was left for us to tackle with. Same happened after 2021 Afghan withdrawal of the US troops, that they left the Afghanistan and we were left to deal with the terrorists and their splinter groups in Afghanistan. And that's what we are seeing today, that their splinter groups are attacking Pakistan. And it's no secret that last month Pakistan launched an attack on Afghanistan soil to striking terrorist outfits which were targeting Pakistan. And it has been long-standing Pakistan's demand from the Taliban regime in Afghanistan that they should control infiltration towards Pakistan, because those splinter groups have been attacking Pakistani civilians and military installations for the past good 1 year. And so far so that the terrorist activities from Afghanistan have increased over the past couple of years as far as the data is concerned. But considering that it is the Pakistan's making, I mean, the Americans are far more superior in deciding which part of the story is right and which part of the story is wrong. Because again, today, Donald Trump, the US president, although we're all waiting for Trump's dealing with Pakistan, he, during his Congress speech, acknowledged Pakistan's engagement in helping them catch the terrorists, the top ISKP leadership from Pak-Afghan border, handing him over to the US authorities and bringing him to the justice. I mean, his acknowledgement of the fact vindicates Pakistan, that Pakistan is also hand in hand with US in fighting terrorism, and Pakistan's case was acknowledged today right at the heart of US democracy.
Faraz, I want to understand from you, where the ties between Afghanistan and Pakistan went wrong. There is, of course, you talked about Donald Trump. In the past, we've seen, as we were talking earlier on the show as well, that there are certain things that Pakistan has done under American pressure through the decades, through different administrations in the United States of America. But as far as TTP is concerned, Islamabad has at least 9 to 10 peace agreements that were signed through the years. There's also been a prisoner exchange program that happened. Yet Pakistan is unable to deal with the kind of security challenge that it faces today with the TTP and its factions. Why do you think Pakistan has gone so wrong in dealing with one of its biggest security challenges?
I mean, the way US withdrew from Afghanistan, even the US administration was alarmed and surprised at the schemes that happened in Afghanistan, the way the US allied forces went from the Kabul airport, and the way they flee, and the way the Taliban took over in Afghanistan. And of course, it is an understanding, it is a common knowledge that within Afghanistan, there's no one organization that has arms or claims control over certain areas. There's so many groups from different factions which are operating in Afghanistan, and of course, Afghan Taliban are the majority force which are in control of Kabul right now. And it is not just Kabul, but there's so many other provinces from Afghanistan which are not in control of Taliban over the past 2 years. And in fact, right after 2021, so many other splinter groups have claimed territories, and Taliban are in fighting against those terrorist groups. So the US withdrawal from Afghanistan was a major blowback, not just to the security stabilization in region, but also to the Pakistan, because again, those splinter groups are fighting against each other. If there was sources of Pakistan within the groups, probably they're not in control anymore, because again, who is losing in the end? It is the rise of terror threats in Pakistan, because again, if you recall, before 2021 and even after 2021, Pakistan and Afghanistan did make a deal that they will resettle certain groups of Taliban in Pakistan in order to establish peace and to stop in fighting. But the way TTP is operating, from at the hands of global forces who want to destabilize Pakistan, that is alarming. And we're all studying how these things are developing over the time, because again, the situation is of course a mess. And Pakistan wants to engage.
Okay, General Kulkarni, you want to come in on this? How do you think? Okay. General Kulkarni, do you want to come in on this? How do you think this will move forward? And do you agree with what Faraz is saying, the fact that it's not Pakistan, it's the external forces who are helping, all of these terror groups to destabilize Pakistan?
To Suraj, first and foremost, is Pakistan which used all of them. You see Musharraf's statement, ye to ji hamare hero the. Now, if Pakistan's president and ex-chief of the army staff of theirs, if they were to say all of them were heroes, if they were to distinguish between good terrorists and bad terrorists, all those who attack Pakistan's security forces are bad terrorists. The ones trained by them attack India are good terrorists. If they start doing that, obviously Clinton told them very clearly that if you are having snakes in your backyard and you expect them only to go bite their neighbors, it's not possible. They'll turn against them. So Pakistan is instrumental for doing all that. They have created this fact. There's no denying the fact. Pakistan has to set aside. If Pakistan decides to give up terror, everybody will try and engage with Pakistan. But Pakistan doesn't want to give up terror. Pakistan is wanting to use terror. You see, what did Trump say? Trump, one of his own this thing, that Pakistan has made a fool of us, and all the aid given to Pakistan, they have in turn used it against us when they were there in America, the Americans were in Afghanistan. And that context now, of course, Trump has released them about $390 million with the hope that their F-16s will be taken care of and that they would not be used again. But Pakistan is a country which will again say sorry and carry on doing what it wants to. Until and unless Pakistan gives up terrorism as an instrument of state policy, gives up training terror, does not in any case indulges in terrorism, Pakistan is bound to suffer, because Pakistan plays one against the other. The Punjabi lobby is playing against the Pashtuns, the Punjabi lobby is playing against the
I think you make an
Baluchis.
interesting point, General Kulkarni. Yeah. Faraz, is it time now that Pakistan, and the world has been reiterating this, stops differentiating between terrorists, good and bad terrorists? That is the way forward. Do you think that Pakistan should stop doing this now, Faraz?
I mean, even in Pakistan, it is absolutely clear. Musharraf is dead right now, right? I mean, we've gone past that 90s and 2000s era. We have absolutely clear stance that there are no good terrorists, there are only bad terrorists. Afghanistan is a reality. Taliban regime in Afghanistan is a reality, and we are left to deal with Afghanistan, and we have to engage and negotiate with the Taliban regime in Afghanistan. So if we engage with the Taliban of Kabul, we do not discriminate or differentiate whether they're good terrorists or bad terrorists. It is just the reality that we're facing. I mean, it is easier for the Americans to dictate policies across the oceans. It is easier for India to dictate or, comment on the policies that Pakistan engage with while they're not dealing with Afghanistan directly.
Donald Trump's example at his joint Congress sitting, where he praised Pakistan. So on one hand, you're using Donald Trump in the United States to validate yourselves. On the other hand, you're saying America will not dominate policy. Alok Bansal, last word to you before I wrap this up. What is the way forward? What do you think Pakistan should be doing at this point?
See, Pakistan's problems are self-created, and there is no doubt, as I said, Pakistan has consistently backed religion, has provided religion primacy. Now, this Sharifullah's arrest, which you are seeing, he has been arrested from Afghanistan-Pakistan border and handed over to US. This is actually a temporary good thing. As I was saying, the Trump presidency is going to be transactional. Since Pakistan has handed them over, he mentioned it in his address to the Congress. But it's not going to change his attitude towards Pakistan. He's not going to give them any aid or anything. So this problem will continue. Pakistan has to take a conscious decision, go and change the polity. It has to actually eliminate the radical organizations, go after them, improve, bring in enlightened moderation, which Musharraf was trying to bring in reality, not in words. So you have to change the body politic, ensure radicalization doesn't take place. People are given a moderate version. The religion does not take that sort of a primacy, because as long as Pakistan security establishments uses the religion and radicalized outfits to pursue its national agenda, you will not see these things happening, improving. Jaish-e-Mohammed was created by them. Jaish turned against them at some stage. There are so many outfits which were created at some stage by Pakistan security establishment which have turned against them. Taliban, they were the biggest backers. Who created Taliban? General Nasrullah Babar used to claim that I am the father of Taliban. But eventually Taliban and Pakistan are also having a problem. Torkham border, there was a firing. There were so many people who were injured. One chap died. So the border post has been closed because there has been firing going on across the border. So what is Pakistan has to do some introspection. What Pakistan needs to do is they need to really introspect, try and improve relations with India, cut down on radicalization. That is only the way forward for Pakistan.
All right. All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much to all of you gentlemen, Faraz Saeed, Captain Alok Bansal and General Sanjay Kulkarni for joining us on Global Mirror and sharing your perspective. Thank you very much. With that, ladies and gentlemen, it's a wrap on this broadcast. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Bye-bye. Good night. Up next is Neha Koshi with Beyond the Headline.